Yes, sir. Willie Epting Jr., CEO, creator of the ShakeBack Media Group. And of course, on behalf of the Big Game Christian Sports Network, want to take a moment to thank everybody out there for making the ShakeBack Sports Show the flagship 1A, for making this project the number one listened to show on the BGC Sports Network for the year 2023. Couldn't have done it without all the listeners, everyone that contributed. Man, the show, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, Saturdays and Sundays. Come on and holler at your boy as we continue to do big things with the network. Holla! And that's where it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are the ShakeBack Sports Show on the Big Game Christian Sports Network, and we are the number one listened to show for 2023. For all of the weekend personalities on the Big Game Christian Sports Network, thank you guys out there for your continued support of the vision. And speaking of vision, we are actually live. Thank you out there for watching us on Facebook, through my personal page, through the BGC Sports Network's Facebook page, through the ShakeBack Media Group's Facebook page, as well as LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. We're rolling 13,000 goats. Appreciate that. And I see you guys out there joining on Instagram TV. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys go out there, like, subscribe, smash the bell for all new content. Be alerted of all things ShakeBack Media Group and Big Game Christian Sports Network whenever we are actually getting ready to do something big, which is all of the time. So thank you guys out there for the continued support of the vision. Just in case you missed it in, the first segment, we did speak on the shooting that took place in Kansas City during the parade there after the Chiefs won yet another Super Bowl, had the moms in, chiming in on the ShakeBack Sports Show with their thoughts. Brandy is the mom guiding, currently a free agent wide receiver, last with the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm hoping that he ends up with the Raiders because the GM that's now in charge of the Raiders loves Jalen. And of course, Jennifer Coney Shepherd, who is who's the mom of Rashawn Gary. And she actually told a pretty funny story on the Real Moms of the Shield. Make sure you guys go out there and check that out. It's actually on Twitter, Facebook, as well as YouTube. And of course, wherever you get your podcast materials, it is a story. All right. This second segment, before we move any further, it is being brought to you by us. Who is us? We is us. Who is we? Well, I'll tell you. We is the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Shout out to my wife because she hates it when I do that. But it's all good. She's an English teacher for a lot of years, and that's what it is. At the BGC Sports Network, we would like to get your feedback on our network. Your feedback will help us to improve and present to you, the listener, with the best possible programming for your listening enjoyment. Just leave your first initial and your last name, as well as your feedback at comments@bgcsports.net. Again, that is at comments@bgcsports.net. And thank you for making us better and your first choice for sports talk that's lit 24/7, the BGC Sports Network, the fastest growing online Christian sports station in the universe. Okay, that is us. That is who we are, and that is what we do. Okay. So yeah, in the first segment, we were talking about the unfortunate events that took place in Kansas City after the Super Bowl parade, or at the end of the Super Bowl parade, when the Chiefs won yet their third Super Bowl championship in the last 5 years. I'm going to pick up there before I actually get back to the game itself, and not really just the game, because everybody knows the outcome of the game. Everybody saw what happened, whether you think it was rigged or not. You know, that's another story for another day. I'm actually trying to line somebody up to come on the show to talk about that. A highly prized and qualified official in the college ranks, who actually was the officiant of the national championship game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Washington Huskies. But in terms of what I was talking about there towards the end of the first segment, the United States has the ability, or I'm sorry, the potential to really and truly be the greatest country on earth. But we keep getting in our own way, whether it's education, whether it's the expensive and a rising cost in prescription medicines. I am a witness because I have a diabetic medicine that I am desperately in need of. But with my insurance, it is over $600. So with that, and my wife being a teacher and the perspectives that I get from her on education, to mass shootings, to the Republican, the presumptive Republican Party presidential nominee embroiled in all kinds of criminal controversy, to him being ordered to pay over $400 million in a bunch of different lawsuits. These are the questions. These are why people around the world that we've traveled to have asked the question. So y'all have all of that going on. What makes y'all the greatest country in the world? And it's a legitimate question. And it has nothing to do, before you start adding me on Twitter or wherever else, which is fine with me. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm going to tell you what I feel about it. It's a legitimate question because the evidence is the evidence. What you going to believe? Your eyes or what people tell you? I, for one, am going to believe my eyes. Okay, let's get to the Super Bowl itself. Now, of course, the first overtime game in the history of the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs, I hate them. Congratulations to all their fans. And in particular, one of the co-stars of a show, Showed Up Divided, and that, of course, is Tisha C. What up, girl? 25-22. Or, yeah, 25-22. There's so many things that we can dive into this. And I really don't know if I have enough time, because I want to, first of all, continue to congratulate the Chiefs, even though they're in our division and, I can't stand them. At some point, you have to be a fan and realize that greatness is being great, but being great breeds certain hate. And I haven't hated the Chiefs just because they become the 3-time Super Bowl champion in the last 5 years. I've always hated the Chiefs. So I'm going to say enough about that. Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, is it okay for us to start questioning if this dude is the dude? Is it okay if we stop questioning whether or not Brock Purdy is the dude? Because I'm really tired of the Brock Purdy haters, and I like the kid. I mean, anybody that is the last choice in the draft has the ultimate ShakeBack story. So I understand that he may not be elite, but he's not supposed to be elite. He was the last pick of the draft. But Kyle Shanahan, this is the third time in a Super Bowl that this dude has blown a double-digit lead and lost. Now, I totally get the fact that he was the old coordinator in Atlanta, but don't you call the plays? As a matter of fact, the same thing that you did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots repeated itself in Super Bowl 58. How in the world do you, as a play caller, one who is lauded as an offensive genius, how is it that you run the ball one time in the third quarter after your defense gets a stop on Kansas City, thus thwarting the momentum that they have established when they kicked the field goal at the end of the second quarter? How is it that you only run the ball one time? That's a question, legitimate question. So then the report came out, I believe it was on Tuesday, that Kyle Shanahan has decided to relieve defensive coordinator Steve Wilks of his duties as the play caller for the defense. Okay, Kyle. The last time I checked this game, now the 49ers defense was a little suspect throughout the playoffs, but this was the best game that they played in the playoffs. They held Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco and I almost said Simeon Rice and Rice to under 20 points for 4 quarters. Under 20 points for 4 quarters. They got heat on Mahomes when they were able to. They first forced a turnover. They actually forced 2 turnovers in which your offense could not capitalize on in the end zone with 6. Is it time to start questioning whether or not Kyle Shanahan is the dude? I think it is. And this San Francisco 49ers roster was loaded. They are the most talented team in the NFL. But you tell me, ladies and gentlemen out there watching and will ultimately be listening, how is it that Brock Purdy, MVP talk, Deebo Samuel, All-Pro, George Kittle's All-Pro tight end, Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year, Brandon Ayuk, one of the best route runners in the game, and caught over 1,200 yards and receptions. And that's just the offense. How is it that one player from another team beats you? Because it was Patrick Mahomes and his shoulders and him telling his boys, yo, get up here, fellas. I got y'all. That's basically what it was. So I don't understand I'm not sure if Kyle Shanahan is the dude. He's shown us that he's not. What's going to happen when it is time for Brock Purdy to get his bag? And then you have to start losing pieces like you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, that type of thing. What's going to happen then? I think we're going to see the cycle continue to cyclate, if that's even a word. If it's not, it is now. We're going to continue to see things cycle because, as we know, Brock Purdy is going to command about at a minimum of $50 million a year. $50 million. Who do you think you got? Chelsea Clinton? Chris Tucker, the first Friday. Anyway, not Friday. Rush hour. So what's going to happen then? This was your best chance for a team in Kansas City that was at its most vulnerable point all the entire Mahomes era. And your team, even though you got destroyed by Baltimore and you went to Philly and destroyed them, and you barely hung on against Detroit in the divisional round, and Detroit got destroyed by Baltimore earlier in the year. Many people would argue that this was the best team with the best chance to bring down Patrick Mahomes, and it didn't happen. Now, whether you think it was rigged or not, because I've seen the clips with, Patrick Mahomes rushed for 2 yards, and it was supposed to be 2nd and 8, but then they moved it to 1st and 10 after getting 2 yards on first down, rather. I saw all that. Of the holding calls that occurred throughout the game, and in particular on that last drive, and in retrospect, and drilling it down to the most important play, which is the last play of the game when Nick Bosa got held by Taylor, I think it was. Yeah, I saw all of that, but all of that did not factor in Kyle Shanahan not running the ball in the third quarter. Everybody around the universe was saying, dude, why are you not running the ball? Christian McCaffrey was eating them alive. Elijah Mitchell got a good run in there. Deebo, you did not do what you were supposed to do in terms of what your team's strength is, i.e. the same as Baltimore. They did not do that to Kansas City either. And then that could actually lean further into, well, this thing was rigged for Kansas City to win all alone. I don't want to get into that. I don't. But now here's my next question. We got about 3.5 minutes left to go in the second segment. Gosh, these things go by so fast when you're having fun. Is it time for us to start talking about the San Francisco 49ers the way that we talk about the Dallas Cowboys? Now, I'm always up for a good Cowboy session, but this ain't the time for that because the San Francisco 49ers have played the Chiefs with a better roster this year, had a result after being up by the same margin throughout the game. So it got me to thinking. Let's do some research. From the ShakeBack Media Group's research department, is it time for us to begin talking about the San Francisco 49ers the way that we talk about the Dallas Cowboys? Maybe this video right here will tell you. Let's watch. Yeah. Bang bang Niner game. I think it may be getting close. Maybe not. Well, let me see. Because the 49ers at least have been really, really relevant by getting there. The Cowboys can't even get past the second round. At least the 49ers have had leads in the Super Bowl. The Cowboys have not been to the Super Bowl in almost 30 years. Now, it's a difference between going to the Super Bowl and not going to the Super Bowl in 30 years and not winning a Super Bowl in almost 25 years or 25 years. Those things are completely different because you know what? At least your team got there, right? So I'm not going to say that it's time for us to start talking about the 49ers like we talk about the Cowboys, but it is time to start talking about the 49ers in a way that mirrors that of the Cowboys and the fact that they just can't get it done. I think the difference for me living in Dallas is that I don't have to be surrounded by Cowboys fans like that. Around Niners fans like that in Dallas. So I'm not really sure if in California or wherever else, if some of the Cowboys fans that are so disgustingly just out of their mind, I'm not sure if 49ers fans out there in Cali are like that. If they are, then so be it. I haven't experienced it. So for me personally, the Cowboys and their fan base will always have a leg up on the 49ers and even the Pittsburgh Steelers to a degree because they ain't won a playoff game in quite some time either. That's just what it is. All right. I see you, big homie. Nate Davis. Facts. Yes, it is facts. Or like the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Can't talk about the 49ers like the Buffalo Bills. And then that's crazy. Yes, it is very much crazy. That's going to do it for the second segment here on the ShakeBack Sports Show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Come on back on the other side. We got some more football to get into. Willie Epting Jr., y'all coming back and holler at me.